My name is Brad Fishman. I'm one of the co-founders and managing partners here at Manhattan Venture Partners in New York City. We are a boutique merchant bank with an inclusive focus on investing and deploying capital to high quality, fast growing venture-backed technology companies. And we do so predominantly through secondary transactions. We're providing liquidity to early investors, entrepreneurs, and executives in high growth businesses. Some of our current portfolio companies that you may be familiar with include Klarna, Epic Games, which is a developer of Fortnite, Revolut out of London. And historically, some great companies that we've invested in that have exited include Spotify, Airbnb, and Pinterest. So a lot of bigger names that you know. So we've had a good track record. Succinct has been involved in our business, as you know, for many, many years, building out what I think is the key infrastructure for a company like ourselves, where our business is really relationship-based. That's both with our investors as well as sellers that we purchase shares from. So there's a lot of intangibles in our business, and having the proper infrastructure, and particularly a CRM that can audit and keep track of all of our relationships, interactions, and do that cohesively across a pretty disparate organization like MVP is key to what I think has been our continued success. We're still with the Succinct team, so I think that speaks to our views on their service and the results. And we've seen the Succinct team really dive into and truly understand our business, which from the outside looking in looks like probably a traditional venture capital firm or investment bank. But as the team at Succinct has found out, there's lots of nuances to our business, lots of different workflows, lots of folks that have different hats, that have different priorities. And really, I think what they were able to achieve was a holistic vision of where we wanted to be, and then step by step build out the workflows, the functionality to get us to ultimately where we are today. And I'd say things always probably take longer than you think, but when they're done properly, it's worth the integrations. And I also believe that the Succinct team helped us prioritize how and where to spend not only our time, but dollars, and getting where we wanted to be from a foundation and build out non-core items over time. And I think for someone sitting in my seat that has a grand vision for what they want, but doesn't necessarily have the internal team to build it, working with a aligned service provider and vendor like Succinct, who's been there since inception, understands what the goals are and how to get us to that destination. As I look at results, there's lots of ways to measure results. When I first met Succinct, I think we were probably 10 folks, 11 folks. We're roughly up to 33 folks now. And I think building the platform integrated on Salesforce, customized as we have with different objects and workflows, has allowed us to scale efficiently, and doing so, as I mentioned, in a relatively disparate way, where we've got lots of different folks sitting in lots of different time zones, all with their own workflows. I think where we've seen results that I can measure are engagement and buy-in from the team. Building it is one thing, building it in a way that can resonate with different team members, whether it's business development or operations, is a complex and difficult initiative. But Succinct was great in creating tutorials, specific webinars for us. We've had consistent teach-ins as new products and services were rolled out, or new workflows were added to our processes, which gives folks that, maybe somewhat intimidated from using new technologies, a much more level of comfort in diving in. Furthermore, what I've always wanted was a holistic platform. So before, working with Succinct and before fully integrating Salesforce into our business, the Succinct team knows this, we did an audit of our different technology providers. And, like you hear in the current day and age, we've got different vendors doing different things. They don't speak to each other. There's duplication of efforts. There's integrations that don't work. So we moved to a different service that integrated properly with Salesforce. And that has empowered us to, for many, many years, see who is engaging with our content, how we can properly target those folks, and where our best type of client lives, what's our best type of investor in terms of where it's resonating, and do those translate into either closed deals, different opportunities, et cetera. I think what has been one of the key attributes of our success is, over time, building what was initially purely a CRM and front-facing sales tool to one that now holistically integrates the sales to operations and administration functions, which in my opinion is a requirement to operate a business efficiently at the scale with the number of relationships and the size capital that MVP deploys into the market, and doing that properly, which was step by step, getting buy-in from the sales team, moving that to the operations function, and integrating that with our administration team that manages our funds is not an easy task. But when I look back at where we started to where we've come, we are exactly where we want to be. And I'm extremely excited about the future, given the results that we've achieved to date. I look at Succinct as essentially our outsourced CTO team. There's lots of folks that wear lots of different hats within Succinct, but I've seen it's evident that from Katie running the organization down to specific product heads, everybody understands and knows our business. And as more folks have come on to the Succinct team over time, they've been integrated into the processes. So we're not starting from step one. Everybody knows where we are and how those workflows should continue to operate. Furthermore, we've seen a huge amount of true partnership alignment, working with different people within MVP to understand their specific workflows, their specific needs, and taking that away from my grand vision and really whittling it down to the specifics. And our business has a fair amount of complexity down to the third decimal point, and sometimes we're capturing that in a very rigid structure can be somewhat difficult. So having the ability to work with Succinct to create more customized environments and objects to achieve our goals, and really permitting us to then go all in on Salesforce and not having to rely on outsourced technologies for certain aspects, I believe will get us even further going forward. If I need help at any point, in the day, in the week, I know that I can, email either whether it's Katie or other team members, and they'll get back to me. We'll set up calls and times, and we are clearly prioritized as a long-term and valuable client. And so I really see that they are, as we've had success, they've had success, and without them, our success would look a lot different. I think actions speak louder than words, and I've been fortunate to have introduced a few of my key relationships to the Succinct team, and spoken very highly of them. And I truly believe that you could talk the talk and walk the walk. And I've seen that this Succinct team understands the Salesforce ecosystem. They understand particularly how a financial services business like myself operates within a regulated environment. And ultimately, I think that we could not have had a better partner to begin this initiative with, and which is why we're still with them. And I would not be having this conversation with this testimonial if I did not believe in the Succinct team and their ability to deliver these services continually to other folks like MVP in the ecosystem.